There comes a time in every man's life where all they want to do is strip naked, dye their hair ginger, pick up an axe and go to find glory. And today is that day for me. Welcome guys, I'm a Rubber Duck of War. We have yet another Immortal Empires Early Access Showdown, and this is a glorious free-for-all. And yes, I have indeed gone for a full Slayer build because I'm feeling an extra bit spicy today. Massive shout out to my enemies today. We have Samurai Warrior on the right hand side, fantastic player, really awesome dude as well. On the far side we have the legendary and well-known across the globe Indie Pride of Milk and Cookies Total War. On the left-hand side we have perhaps the sneakiest of all players, the mighty and the treacherous today, Darv Plays, coming in with a full Eshin build. Very cool stuff. We've got a load of thematic battles and armies. So let's delve into this. My army is pretty simple. It is a load of Slayers across the basic front line, backed up, of course, by the Dramback Slayers, some Giant Slayers, and the two Boyos themselves. These are my real centerpiece of the army. We have Ungrim Iron Fist, as well as Gotrek. These guys are working in unison to try to drag down the enemy formations. I'm going to be making a pretty swift mobile force, moving over towards Khorne, because I know they won't kite me. They'll stand and fight, unlike the Skaven on my far side. A couple of Flesh Hounds over here, and there's a Bloodletter Fiend revealed, so just Bloodletters galore across the front here. Backed up by the Hellforged host, we have Scarbrand, as well as a double Blood Crushers, which is just Bloodletters riding Juggernauts into combat, so it definitely keeps on theme. In the far side, we do have a double Black Dragon, something I'd really love to actually get my hands on and fight against, but they're so far away I don't have much chance to make it there before I am riddled with crossbow bolts. We have Colwyn Knights, we have Reaper Bolt Throws, we have Dark Shards, Bolt Fiends, Shades, you name it, we've got it. We've also got a Malice at Darkblade over on the far side, and I think Malice is actually pretty damn powerful now, it seems. I'll have to do a bit more testing to see what's actually changed, but I think maybe his healing has been reworked, and he does not like dying whatsoever. With Eshin Triads, we'll have a load of Gutter Run Slingers on this side, a bucket ton of Wolf Rats, as well as an Assassin to help lead them on kind of the left-hand side contingent. We then have a central force of double Death Runners, including Vistrin's Death Squad, certainly one of the coolest name units in the game. We have Deathmaster Snickich, and it looks like we have even more Death Runners alongside an Eshin Sorcerer, leading a flank on the right-hand side. Now, it looks like, to me, the Skaven were immediately wanting to charge me and get into my heavily armoured units with the Death Runners and perhaps shut down my back line. Luckily for me, I don't have a back line. I don't even have any heavily armoured troops, so I'm going to move over rather swiftly towards the forces of Khorne. Annoyingly for me, all the units I want to get into, all the large troops, the Blood Crushers and the Flesh Hounds, are going to completely circumvent me and go after the Skaven, but I'll still settle with Scarbrand. Certainly if I can drag him down, I'll be getting a decent amount of value. And this is a free-for-all, so the way it's won is by who gets the most damage done, plus there's a bonus for being the last man or dwarf standing. So the Slayers have been moving forward rather eagerly. Excited to see how they fare against the Bloodletters. My opponent is going to be attempting to hold a choke point here, and the Slayers just Leroy Jenkins in. Nope, they roll back and fall back a little bit, allowing the Giant Slayers to catch up, perhaps going for a bit of a 2-for-1 hit. I'm well aware of these pesky Skaven coming up behind me, but now we have the full-on fight. Slayers versus Bloodletters. This is going to be just a blood and thunder affair as they hack and slice into each other. Very similar banners here for this fight, but hey, we should be able to differentiate. Some of us are dwarves and some of us are demons. Scarbrand gets surrounded by Giant Slayers. He tries to turn them into rampages. Be very careful not to rampage himself here as well if he pops his other ability, as he's taking significant damage here, and the Slayers are batting at the gates. Skaven are moving up to deal with us. It looks like the Death Runners were forced back, though, by the Blood Crushers, who attempted to flank me and instead have gone after the Wolf Rats of the enemy in combination with the Flesh Hounds. It seems like the Dark Elves don't really have any friends right now. They're moving over on, looking to try to betray the Khorne forces, which I'm all for, and I have noticed now the Death Runners in my rear. It looks like Ungrim is dueling the mighty Scarbrand. This is a fight of champions, and look who turns tail. Scarbrand flees before the wrath and fury of Ungrim Iron Fist. He picks up a middle finger of his Iron Fist and points at Scarbrand. Big breath attack comes down by one of the dragons, and a bit of damage to me as well, but the Bloodletters would cause me quite a few problems, so I'm glad to see the back of them, and it looks like the Hellforged hosts are on arrival. Looks like we pull back our Giant Slayers and move up with our basic ones, just to hold the line a little while longer. Got a load of units in reserve. There's no point pushing them through to fight in a choke point, so I'm holding the back line. Now, my opponents here, they think they've got me in a good situation. They got Khorne in our front, we've got Skaven behind us, we're completely surrounded. but that is where they are wrong. That is our advantage, for we can advance in any direction and fight enemies. Today is a glorious day to be a Slayer. This is the dream, and the Death Runners are charging in. They pop their petty concealment bombs. We see through the lies of the Jedi and Skaven, and we're going to turn to engage, and Dragonback Slayers jump in with gusto, and we're going to be hacking and chopping at as many of the sneaky little Skaven as physically possible. We are breaking through the front line. Gotrek, of course, with his magical attacks is going to be famous for slaying demons, and comes in doing some pretty decent work. I think he even has a book out called Demon Slayer. He knows a thing or two about carving up the evil spawn of chaos. It looks like the dragons are floating over as well, mainly doing breath attacks. So a big fight down here as well. Scarbrand's gone after Malice Darkblade. Malice is certainly no joke anymore, and the shades have been revealed alongside the Bolt Fiends and a dragon. So Scarbrand, yeah, buddy, you were trying to escape in the Slayers and instead ended up getting yourself slain. It looks like the dragon has some green glowing eyes now. Is that new? It looks awesome, and I've not noticed it before. Maybe it's just the new lighting or something, but that looks great. And down Scarbrand goes. Probably thought there was only the one unit of or a couple of units of Dark Shards over here. Instead, it gets ensnared. Bloodletters are going down, and Corners are really feeling our wrath at the moment. Slayers are having a whale of a time cutting down the combined forces of the Death Runners. And now that I've dealt with the demons on the front, we can just pull back and help carve up these bad boys. There is a fight in the distance, though. Ungrim is dueling the Death Master, which is not going too well for Ungrim yet. He's a man of good stamina, though. I'm sure he can come back into the fight, but Gotrek comes in and just slaps up the Death Master. Big overhanded strike from Ungrim as well. Two-handed blow that would sever the spine and body of most men. It's going to force back the Death Master, who has been dampened as well, lowering his spell resistance. Some of his loyal Death Squad do move in to save him, but they themselves will indeed be going down. Dragons are flying high in the sky. I don't mind fighting them on the ground, of course, as well as Malice Darkblade, but in the sky like this, it's pretty damn scary stuff where they can use their big scary breath attacks. The Gut Runners have got in position. This is really bad news for me. I do not want to fight them whatsoever, but I'm hoping that the Skaven will betray the Dark Elves and really go after them here, because the Dark Elves have basically all their army left. I think there was quite a lot of trickery in chat here, in a big voice chat, and we were like, hey, we really need to kill these Dark Elves. They look pretty scary, so how about we go after them? And hopefully that is going to be the play, although the Gut Runners were poking down my Giant Slayers. Looks like they may be repositioning, and alliance between the dwarves and the Skaven. Who would have thought it? Shades are moving over to engage me, though, and there's a load of ranged troops, which is pretty damn scary stuff. I'm going to have to push forward through the fire and the flames, and Gutter Runners, though there's a small alliance, are shooting my Giant Slayers in the rear end still, slowing us down. Dwarves aren't particularly speedy anyway. I mean, moving back with the 9 Slayers just to try and fend off the enemy a little bit. I don't mind if they die as long as they waste ammunition. It is going to be a good day for the Slayer King. So it looks like the Cold One Knights may do a cheeky little charge on the Slayers. Main job here is to protect their ranged forces against me, but I'm going to continue to apply a bucket ton of pressure. The Black Dragons are up in the skies, floating left and right, looking for some big scary breath attacks, but in come the Wolf Rats. This is where our lines hopefully shall pay off. They are bounding across the streets. Big shots do go down range, actually aiming at the Death Master, who doesn't enjoy that, but that is going to be the last of volleys of the Bolt Throw, who didn't actually get that much value, sadly, and is getting dumpstered now by the Wolf Rats. We need to continue to push through, though, and shut down the Dark Shards, at least if it's going to help me out. And it looks like the Slayers are now pushing back the Bolt Fiends, who are currently flammable, and the Dragons are flying high in the sky. Big breath attack comes down, just eviscerates some Slayers. Ungrim does go toe-to-toe with Malice, though, and this is a fight Ungrim has been kind of biting on the bit to get into. We're going to slap up Malice pretty damn hard here. The blood price does go down, but Ungrim doesn't need a blood price. He doesn't even care about being cursed by a demon. It's all just another Tuesday to him. He's getting in here, and he's getting down and dirty. Malice Darkblade is taking a massive hits right now. It looks like Ungrim is still doing okay, particularly now, though, with Gotrek coming in. Gotrek's doom has been popped. Malice is going to have to form into Zarkan, giving up his soul to become one with the demon once more. And every time he does this, he becomes closer to death, I suppose, and once and truly being dragged in to being a demon. Does get hit, though, by a Deathmaster Sigil. Looks like a bit of a bug on the replay as well. He's actually coming in as Catherine on his symbol, which is quite funny. But he's been moving back into maybe try to deal with Gotrek and Ungrim. No, Axe of Dargo is popped though. Armor Pierce is not going to help too much here against Death Runners, but hey, any damage is damage. The big mighty dragon does swoop down onto the Slayers, trying desperately to protect their Archer Corps. We've been able to force off the Bolt Fiends, but this dragon is a scary beast indeed. Shades are okay melee combatants, so the Dragonback Slayers should be able to fend them off, at least you would hope. Ungrim is very close to going down as well. The Weeping Blaze has sunk into his holy armor, and he's feeling a little bit sluggish and slow today. Gotrek's doing fine though. He should be able to win this engagement. It looks like Gotrek's actually going to move over to try to get to grips with the Black Dragon. Don't know if my opponent's going to allow me to get there. Actually, no, I'm trying to shut down the Shades, which is probably a smart fight here. Ungrim Iron Fist, the legend of countless fights and battles, is, alas, slain, fallen down with his brothers in arms. It was a glorious death though. He fought many an enemy and slayed many a beast. Did decent damage as well to Malice there, but the power of the demon as well as the power of the crossbow was too much for him to bear. Shades are now getting shut down by Gotrek, and my army is basically done though. I'm attempting to fend off Dark Shards, but it's looking real rough for me. The Force of the Skaven are also getting butchered by the Double Dragon in the sky. Malice Darkblade is fighting against a sorcerer who's trying to conjure some magic, but I don't think magic's going to help here. And look how much longer Malice lasts. His health falls at a minute rate, and his healing kind of counteracts a lot of it, actually. Very interesting to see if those changes stay in or if they make him competitive or not. Gutter Runners do some nice damage to the Black Dragon, and there's a decent amount of Skaven troops left, so Darv may have a 1 or 2 tickets in his back pocket here. The Cold One Knights are getting down and dirty with Gutter Runners slinging, so there's a lot of them left, and I'm trying my best here. I think I maybe even given up on the Shades. I'm like, just give Gotrek a glorious death. Tries chasing after the Black Dragon. He does a... What is going on with Oh, he's getting shot. Okay, he was staggering from the Shade fire. Looks like 1 or 2 popped some shots early. Got some really lucky hits on him, and he just staggered like mad there. Gotrek's Doom does go down, and he is going to be well and truly amongst his enemies once more. That Black Dragon was saved there by the Bolt Fiends as well as the Dark Shards. We're going to continue to try to kite me where possible. We are carving them up, but at the end of the day, this is looking like a doomed fight for the Slayers. The Black Dragons are incredibly healthy. The mighty Gutter Runners are trying their hardest, but Malice has basically lost no health. Let's see. How much health does he have? 4,590. He's in combat here, so he's losing a little bit, but it is so slow now. Maybe Malice is going to be actually quite powerful indeed. Black Dragons are far too healthy right now, and I think it's the Dark Elves to lose. It's going to be almost impossible for them to lose, actually, with the units they have on the battlefield. We'll have to see how much value they get, though, because they were out of the fight for a significant portion, but they were able to finish off kind of the second half of my army, as well as the second half of the Skaven force. I think we were all doing quite good points-wise here. Unfortunately, I think the Khorne player got trapped early between 2 players and lost Scarbrand, and from there it was a bit of a suffering. But apart from that, I think the other 3 were relatively close in points. Shades are getting dragged down by Dragonback Slayers, but eventually the Slayers must go down. There they go. Failed much like their king. Gotrek's doing a decent job, and he shall be the last dwarf standing. Elsewhere, Black Dragons are just feasting right now. We do have a nice little bit of a fight back, though. We have the Assassin trying his best against the Black Dragon. Now, he normally takes hits on, humies or dwarves, not a gigantic, scary beast. You want to get, like, a beast tamer in for that. Reaper of Souls goes down as well. Looks like the Assassin is going to lose his nerve, and the Skaven forces do start to break and flee. Gotrek's trying his hardest. We may actually be able to beat back the Shades here. Let's do a bit of fast forwarding here, though, as the end bits are cleared up. We're just chasing down Shades on the right-hand side, and elsewhere it is simply Black Dragons finishing off the entirety of the Skaven forces, alongside Malice Darkblade. And the Shades do manage to rally, and Gotrek is chasing off the enemy. Unfortunately, his heal still doesn't work, so you can see he's constantly in green smog right now as that heal attempts to pop. This was a bug from Warhammer 2, I believe, where Gotrek and Lass does not heal. If he healed here, maybe there's a chance we could take on Malice. We were going to go for a epic fight of doom here. We pop Forsaker, Gotrek's doom goes down. We charge in to try to take on Malice Darkblade. The Bloodstorm is popped though, and Gotrek just absolutely smoking out here. Danking out with the boys, Gotrek is in his doom, but down he goes, and with that, it is going to be GG's and well played. The Dark Elves simply cannot be shut down. There's going to be a tiny little bit of poke and stroke coming in from the Gutter Runners, of course, as they go about their end fight. But who wins? Who got the most value? Take a guess now and leave it in the comments down below, and then we can come back and see if you were correct. It is going to be a victory for the Dark Elves. Relatively close, I might add. We managed to run them okay there. 12.5k value ourselves to 15k. Hey, if we got a little bit more lucky, maybe if Scarbrand had come over to us instead of them, and we got the value instead of them, maybe we could have turned this one around. Not bad for an army that was completely surrounded. But again, as I said before, that is our advantage. We can attack in all directions. Our opponents are not, they've not got us trapped in their kind of ensnarement. They're trapped with, oh god, I'm completely messing up the quote. You know the quote I mean. It's the, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. I'm trying to make it fancy and more dwarvish, but it is what it is. Malus Darkblade may no longer be Malus Meanblade. He may be Malus Chadblade though. 3,330 value on him, 93 kills. Ungrim 1.8k, Gotrek 2.3. Bit of a powerhouse as well with those magical attacks. Makes him relatively successful up against the demons. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I had such a good fun time playing with all these guys over the course of like the last week and so. I've got yet another free-for-all where Lord Marshal Sotek has just the most hilarious Green Knight play. So expect that on the challenge on the channel soon. And I am dropping 2 Immortal Empire videos a day. YouTube doesn't really like that because I don't like pushing videos. So if you guys want to support, make sure to subscribe. And hopefully you'll be able to see, all the videos. You can also just go to my channel and check them out. Feel free to like, subscribe, and all that juicy good stuff. There's a load of links down below. But yeah, our Slayer build, 2.1k on Dramback Slayers is a bit of a standout. 1.3 on the Giant Slayers did okay. The other Slayers did get torn to shreds a little bit. But full Slayers versus a Corn Rush is always good to see. 1.4, 1.7k on the Dragons did a really solid job. I think they were the main carry here. Shades did good as well. Shades 1.4k and 1.5, but combination of those breath attacks as well as Malice was also really scary. I love the full Eshin build. It was pretty badass. 1.2 on the Death Squad. But alas, they took a fight with the Dowie, which isn't going to go too well for anyone. 1k on the Gutter Runners, though. They were some really lovely micro by Darth. He likes his fast mobile, like, skirmish cores, and he's gotten pretty damn good at microing them. And yeah, unfortunately, oh man, this was like such a cool build as well. Like full Bloodletters, it just really suffered that it was next to me, who was a load of dwarves who was unbreakable and wouldn't die, and on the other side was a load of bolts, and kind of caught in between, it was a bit of a death sentence. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.